Welcome to the Rustic Garden Homestead. Today I'm going to show you how to make a very simple rustic tomato soup and pasta sauce. It's all going to come out of the same container. We're going to take the beautiful tomatoes, we're going to take the heirloom tomatoes that are cracked and beat up a little bit. They don't even need to be totally ripe. Maybe they're even a little bit more beat up. Maybe they have a little bit of black mold on there. That's fine. We're just going to cut off a big chunk. This is just a beautiful pasta sauce, the exact thickness that I want. The basil is still nice and green. We didn't overcook it. I'm going to make some spaghetti tonight, use the sauce. One more cut in so you can see what we're making. Truly from garden to table, just a beautiful pasta sauce made 100% from everything growing in my garden. And I'm going to show you how we harvest it, process it, and here's the final plating. All the cracked Cherokee purples are going in there. We don't need to remove the cracking. That's good to go right into the pot. All these Cherokee purples aren't going to store well with all the cracks in them, but they make perfect soup, make perfect pasta sauce. I like bringing out the pot because I know that I want to fill it to the top. We're going to simmer this down, let it reduce, and then we'll have our soup and sauce. I'll show you how to make that. I also like coming out and just taking all the tomatoes off this beat up Cherokee purple. So what I'll do is I'll clean up the plant, give it a spray, fertilize it, and then I'll be getting more tomatoes in about a month. So it's a great way to really save your plants and use all that cracked heirloom fruit. I'm going to each plant and I'm looking for the fruit that is really kind of beat up, that's just not going to store well. That almost didn't come off. These are celebrities, so I'm going to pick all of those. Anything that just looks like it's not going to store well or can't last much longer on the vine, I'm just going to put them all right into the pot. This one's starting to get soft and really crack, and you're going to see that black mold roll into there pretty soon. Some of the mold right on there, and what I'll do is I'll just cut a nice big thick cut off the tomato, and it'll totally remove this, and whatever's left is going to go into the soup. Now that does look really bad, but you can really just deeply cut a chunk of the tomato off and you're going to completely remove that. Any issues of any insects or molds will not be on the tomato. Plus we're going to be cooking this really well, so there wouldn't be a problem. But just chunk the tomato, remove that. You've spent all this time growing your heirlooms. Use the flavor by just removing what looks really, really bad. A lot of your cherry tomatoes may be cracking, and once they actually get that black mold on there, they may be kind of tough to really save because you have to take off so much. But you're going to get a lot of cracking cherry tomatoes. Use those in the soups. They really add flavor. We're not going to be taking the seeds out, so that's going to save you a lot of time. Just drop in the cherries because they're going to add just wonderful sweetness to it. Like if it's beat up, even something like that, I'm just not going to use it. But brand new cracks, minor blemishes like that, I'll remove. I'm just going to put these right into the soup. I have so many sweet cherry 100s. They crack, but they are really super sweet. And a tomato like this, that kind of cracking you don't even worry about. But I will go through this entire plant. They're going to go into the pot. We're not going to season any of this in the beginning because this is going to get really rendered down from almost a full pot, maybe down to half for the soup, and then down to a third for the sauce, depending on how thick you like your sauce to be. Salt and pepper put in now to kind of flavor an entire pot. When it renders down, when it reduces, it's going to be way too strong, too much salt, too much pepper, and you can't remove it. You can always add more, but you can't take it out, so don't season it till the end. What I like putting in first are the tomatoes. I'm going to throw in a couple green bells, if I can break this off without breaking the plant. A couple bell peppers, anything that you want to soften up. And then we're going to use a hand blender to really puree this down. So I'll throw in a couple peppers, maybe some bunching onions. You don't want to put in the basil, you don't want to put in the oregano now. All that flavor will evaporate, so you put in the basil, the herbs right at the end, so you have the maximum taste from the basil and from the oregano. Boiling it too long, simmering it too long is just going to totally remove the flavor from the pot. These are the ingredients I'm going to use. I'm just going to wash it, chunk it up, and then we'll get to boiling. You just want to cut off what's ugly. Whole tomatoes going in, maybe core out if you don't want that part, core that out. But that was soft enough. Like I mostly just want to remove the top of the tomato. I don't want that in the soup. Everything else is just going to go right into a pot. Everything's getting rinsed off, even though I used spinosad, which is organic. I don't want that in my soup. Rather than cutting off this whole part and wasting it, just get in and core out the stem, and this whole thing goes right into the pot. The tomatoes that are really beat up, let me rinse that. The tomatoes that are really beat up, and you want a really sharp knife, just get in there and peel it away. If it looks good right here, you have nothing to worry about. You don't need to go any deeper. And I just remove whatever is soft. I don't mind it cracking. This I don't really want in there, so I'll just get in, cut out most of it. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then right where the top of the tomato is, I'm going to cut that part out. I really want to use most of the tomato. Maybe remove that piece. I really want to use all the tomato, and you want to chunk it up. It just boils down a little bit nicer, but look how beautiful that is. This is going to be a delicious sweet soup and sauce. And the one that was really messed up, this one, same thing. We're just going to cut and see what it looks like. No point in wasting it. It looks nice. Forgot to rinse it off. But that looks fine. So I'm just going to continue here. You know, maybe go a little bit deeper than you think if it looked really terrible. And you can use this whole tomato. And again, we're not taking the seeds out. The immersion blender works really well to puree them down, and it's just a lot of work. You know, you don't need specialized tomatoes for this. You can use whatever tomatoes you have in a garden, and this is just going to be great. The whole key is just fill your pot full of the tomatoes, and then we render it down about halfway for a soup, and then, you know, further for a thicker tomato sauce. All right, let me chunk everything up. For cleaning cherry tomatoes, in case you use sprays, organic, otherwise, I like to fill the sink. The sink is clean, and then I just roll the cherries through there. A lot easier than cleaning them individually. Once everything is cleaned, again, I chunk up everything. This is the waste that came off the tomatoes that you saw in there. Once you chunk them up, you're going to see that you have more space in your pot because they were circular. There's a lot of airspace in there. Now they're not. They're in little chunks. So you may want to go out and get more tomatoes. In a pot this large, you could have a ton of sauce or soup, so you want to be able to store it. But just look how beautiful that is. All the different heirloom colors. It smells really sweet. This is going to be absolutely delicious. This is everything to get started. We're not going to add in water. We're not going to do anything except put this on the stove, simmer it down, soften it up. We'll get to the immersion blender. If you're using peppers, I do recommend taking the seeds out of those. They don't, you know, puree as well as the tomato seeds. Pretty basic. If you want to use garlic, I have plenty of garlic that I'll be taking out of the garden actually. I put the cloves in later. You just don't want garlic boiling for a long time because I think the flavor goes away. But this all came out of the garden, minus the onion, and that's all the waste we have. So all that beautiful fruit, those vegetables, we're really using the bulk of it to make our sauce and soup. This has only been on the heat for about 15 minutes. Once it warms up, you see it really turn to liquid. So there's a lot of space in there. If you wanted to add more tomatoes, you could do that now. So we're going to bring this up to a simmer, let everything soften through, and then we're going to hit it with the immersion blender. But from this point on, it can take anywhere from 2 to 6 hours to reduce this. The steam is getting to the lens. It's going to take 2 to 6 hours for this to reduce down to the consistency that you want. You know, a little bit thinner for soup, a little bit thicker for pasta sauce. Everything's been simmering for about, I don't know, 30 minutes. So everything is soft. This is your basic immersion blender. The blade is right under there. I love this. It's perfect for doing what we're doing today. Now I just want to be clear. Remember, the tomatoes were up to here. Once you heat them, they're going to reduce. Actually, they don't reduce. They're just going to lose all the air space in there. So this is not a reduction. The volume just kind of dropped down because there's no air in there. We're going to wait for this right here to reduce by half for soup, maybe 2/3 for the sauce, just depending on the thickness you like. So I just wanted to be clear that this is not a reduction right now. It's just because we heated it up and all the airspace is gone. No seasoning, no herbs, nothing yet. We're just going to puree this. You really want to puree this till everything is finely chopped up, a puree. You can still see some seeds floating in there. This might take, you know, a good 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, but take the time to really blend this up, and then we're just going to let it simmer. This is the consistency after the first puree. So this is all the tomatoes heated for about 20-30 minutes, pureed once. This is where we're going to start. This is not bad for maybe the thickness for soup, and maybe you want it to be right here. I like it to reduce down more, helps concentrate the flavors, but that's really up to you. But this process now, to reduce this by a half, by a quarter, by a third, by 2/3, depending on what you want, can take anywhere from a good 2 hours to 6 hours. And you just want this to simmer without the lid. If you put the lid on, the moisture is going to stay in it. So you want the lid off and just let it simmer and reduce. After about 2 hours, it's really thick enough for what I like the soup to be. What I'm going to do is just ladle out some into another pot. Remember, this is not seasoned in any way. I will season the soup and the sauce differently, but I like this thickness for the soup. It's been about 6 hours in total. This is the consistency of the soup. I like it about this thickness. And then the pasta sauce is just beautiful. Look how thick it is. It gets a really deep, dark color the longer that you cook it. But this is perfect, nice and thick. Now, there's no seasoning really in any of these. For the soup, a couple basil leaves, a tomato basil soup. Just drop that right into there. And there's no salt in there. Salt, taste, then salt and taste, salt and taste. You can't remove salt. So I'm just going to start with a nice big pinch and put that right into the soup. And I'm pretty sure that's plenty because I've done this before. Don't over salt. The reason that we're salting last or seasoning last is, remember, the tomatoes to start were up to here. And then we boiled them for 20 minutes and it dropped to here. And then we rendered it down for 6 hours and it's down there. If we salted to taste when it was up here and everything concentrated down, you'd have just a salty mess. You're not going to enjoy it. So into my pasta sauce, I want a lot more basil than I just put into the soup. In fact, I'm going to put it all in there. You want to put the basil in right at the end. If you don't, you're going to simmer away all the oils and the flavor. I also like to put in a couple teaspoons of, I should say, a couple tablespoons of olive oil. This is dried oregano from my garden. All this is coming from the garden. Put in the oregano, a big pinch of salt. That's a small pinch. We're going to put in a bigger pinch. Let's do 2. And then I'm going to put in my garlic. Same thing. You want to put the garlic in towards the end so that the flavor stays with it. So at this point, consistency of the sauce is right. Consistency of the soup is right. And I took the soup off the heat and it just kind of sat there waiting for me to finish. The immersion blender, let's go real quick with, let's do the soup first. So you want to make sure it's all the way in so it doesn't splash. You give it a couple pulses. That's going to mix the basil through, and you're pretty much, ready to eat this. You can put it into a container, refrigerate it, but this is what I like to do to make my basic soup. For the basil in the sauce, I'm going to kind of stir everything together, and I'm going to have to turn the pot on its side to get it to blend well because it's really, really thick. I probably should have dropped the basil in a little bit earlier, but this is a really thick sauce, and you just kind of go through, blend everything together. If it's too thick, and this is a little bit thick, you can add back in, 6 ounces of water. You're better off to make it a little bit thicker than to have it too watery, because you can always add some of the moisture back in. So let me blend all this together, and I am going to put in, I don't know, 6-8 ounces of water. Added some water in there. This is the perfect thickness. I can see the basil. This is going to be absolutely delicious. And this is how I make, really from start to finish, my rustic tomato sauce and my rustic pasta sauce or spaghetti sauce. It's really worth making. This is the sauce a day later. Proper size pot, perfect thickness. It's really easy to make. I mean, we're basically just simmering down tomatoes until they're the right thickness and then season them how you wish. This is just a beautiful pasta sauce, the exact thickness that I want. The basil is still nice and green. We didn't overcook it. I'm going to make some spaghetti tonight, use the sauce. Thanks so much for watching. Please check out my seed shop at therusticgarden.com, and please subscribe. I'll show you how to grow food, have some fun, save money, and how to even cook with it. One thing to keep in mind is sometimes we say we have too many tomatoes. Remember, this whole container was filled up to here, and it really kind of just breaks down. I mean, once we kind of render it down to this much sauce, so it's not a whole lot. So feel free to grow as many tomatoes as you need, make pasta sauce, freeze it, save it for the winter, and you'll have a great time. Thanks for watching.